You're such a nerd, Double Dragon 912. Yep, and I'm proud to be a nerd. Video games are awesome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in this world. I'm Double Dragon 912, about to call myself something else. And you listen to another Top 10, ladies and gentlemen. Top 10s are back at you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to apologize, I haven't been uploading videos, ladies and gentlemen. September is my birthday. Birthday was on September 12th, and I celebrate my birthday all month long. But I almost forgot about you guys. I ain't forgot about you, though. Finna do this Top 10. Today, I want to do my Top 10 favorite Street Fighter games of all time. Oh, you kidding? Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy this top 10. Let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 10 of my top 10 Street Fighter games of all time has to be Street Fighter Alpha 2 Gold. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, Street Fighter Alpha 2 was a great game. This is where we had Ryu, Evil Ryu, and all that stuff. Well, Alpha 2 Gold, when it came out, ladies and gentlemen, they gave you some secret characters. It was kind of different from Alpha 2. Secret characters on the PlayStation version at least. You had Evil Ryu, Cammy, Shinakuma, and I think you can get Chun-Li's her original costume from the old Street Fighter games. And man, this game was off the chain, ladies and gentlemen. I loved it. This is the Alpha series in general. If you are a Street Fighter fan, ladies and gentlemen, go play the Street Fighter Alpha series. It is awesome. You can pick it up on PS2. They got that Street Fighter Legacy Collection out now, where it got pretty much just all the Street Fighters on there. Excellent game, ladies and gentlemen. I highly recommend it. But yeah, man, had a lot of fun with this one. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 2 has to be Street Fighter Alpha 2 Gold. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 9 has to be Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I know y'all may think out there, Double Dragon number 12, Double Dragon 912, that ain't no Street Fighter game. Yes, it is. It says Marvel Superheroes versus, listen to this now, Street Fighter. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this was an awesome game. This came out as a sequel to XMen vs. Street Fighter, and I loved it, ladies and gentlemen. I had to go travel to play this game because this game was not in the arcades where I'm from. It was actually up north, and we went to the mall and played it, and I loved it. You had Dark Sakura, Spider-Man had a new skin, and you had Hulk. You know, Hulk had a new skin, and man, there was some different type of secret characters in this game. And you know, I ended up getting also the PlayStation version of the GIMP version, where you couldn't do really tag team. You had to pick one person, had to pick the same person on each team just to get tag team to work, because PlayStation never had the RAM to do it, which was crazy. Most popular console at the time, but didn't have the RAM to do it. I didn't understand it. But Sega Saturn, they got an arcade perfect port. All they had was the RAM card. Once you got the RAM card, and they had a secret character that wasn't on the rest of the version. Some kind of news. I think he was a news reporter, or like a comedy dude, and he had glasses on. But he was on Sega Saturn. He was exclusive to the Sega Saturn version, and never got a chance to play the Sega Saturn version of this game. But I enjoyed Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. They don't get much credit. They get a lot of flack because they're like, man, is this a reskin of XMen vs. Street Fighter? Yeah, you can say that, but it had its own flavor because it had some new characters on there. Like I said, Sakura, Dark Sakura. Who else was new on there? There's a couple of new characters on there. Sumagura. I think Cap came back on this. Captain America came back on this because he wasn't on XMen vs. Street Fighter, but he on Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. So I love Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. I love the whole Versus series. They need to bring that back and do an HD remaster version of it. Capcom. You hear me? Do it. Y'all can do it. Please. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 9 on my top 10 Street Fighter games of all time has to be Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter version of this system. You can actually play as Cyber Akuma on that. He was an unlockable character. You had to put in a code, but you could play as. Look at Beast and Blanca in the background. That's funny. Y'all know good and well Sakura wouldn't have no time with Hulk. Every glad it's a video game. Ow! Come on, Ken. Let's get in there. I think this is the one where Ken got the backwards kicking. I think, if I remember correctly. Nice. Oh, got me. That's it. Oh yeah. Yeah. Ken Fireball don't go all the way across the screen on this one. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep this thing rolling. Keep the countdown rolling. Let me stop being silly. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 8 has to be Street Fighter 3, the new generation. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is probably going to be a hot take. As they say, a hot take, controversial take. Don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen, I played Third Strike and I played Double Impact. But 3, the new generation, to me was my favorite because I first played it at an arcade down here. We had it was a hot chick too. So hot. I don't know what she had now, but she was over the arcade. And when it first came out, everybody was like, "Man, let's check out the new Street Fighter." We were checking it out, and of course, y'all know I had to play with my boy Ken. And Ken had that Shinruken on there. And yeah, Ryu and all these new different characters, and all of us was sitting up there playing it. It was like, man, play with somebody else beside Ken, let's see some more movies. I said, man, y'all better stop hating on my boy Ken. That's what I said to myself. I ain't say that out loud. But man, this game, the graphics on it, and y'all know, I'll stress this a lot. I'm not a graphics head, but the graphics on this game looked amazing. And I ain't had no problem with Street Fighter 3 New Generation. It caught a lot of flack because I believe it's caught a lot of flack, ladies and gentlemen, when the time it was out, Capcom was making too many fighting games. See, when New Generation came out, we had all the XMen vs. Street Fighter, Rival Schools. See, I didn't even get a chance to play Rival Schools till later on when it was, on way out of discussion because people tell me Rival Schools. When it came out, I ain't know nothing about it because I was all about XMen vs. Street Fighter, all them other fighter games. But yeah, I think this just went under the radar. That's what it was. Capcom had too many fighting games out there. That's my opinion. But this is a great game, ladies and gentlemen. You want to play this game, pick up the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. Oh, you play all these games I'm talking about. Not all of them, but we'll get into that. So, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 8, I think I'm going to make sure I'm saying it right. 8 is Street Fighter 3, the new generation.
You win. Round 2. Fight. You win.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 7 has to be Street Fighter Alpha. Now, hold on, let me get it right. Here you go, y'all. Street Fighter EX plus Alpha. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. What can I say, ladies and gentlemen? I always like the title of this screen. It's like they forget about the Alpha part. The dude that's announcing like Street Fighter EX plus Alpha. You forget about the Alpha part. Anyway, let me get out of that. Man, I love this game. This game don't get too much credit in the Street Fighter series, but this game, ladies and gentlemen, Capcom was trying to get into the 3D market, because at the time when this game came out, we had other games like Tekken, Virtual Fighter. You know, the 3D market of video games were booming, and Capcom was getting left behind. And they made a statement when they made Street Fighter 3 New Generation that, yeah, man, we don't know how to make 3D graphics and all that stuff and all that graphic environment. We really don't know how to do all that, so we're going to stick to 2D. And that's probably the real reason why Street Fighter 3 New Generation didn't catch on, because you had all that Tekken and the 3D boom. But I digress. This game, ladies and gentlemen, Capcom farmed it out to Akira, I can't even think of it. Probably saying their name wrong, and they had them make it. So it's got all the Akira characters, that company, and the Street Fighter characters in there. But see, Capcom didn't really make it. Akira made it. So it's like Street Fighter characters with some old different characters. And Akira, that company, they still making games to this day, ladies and gentlemen. Check out Fighting EX Layer. That's the same people that made Street Fighter EX plus Alpha. They made the new Fighting EX Layer, and it's a great game. Y'all check that out. But this game, Street Fighter EX plus Alpha, man, has all your favorite characters on there: Ken, Ryu, Chun-Li, Zangief, and they have the Akira characters on there: Skullomania, Alan Snyder. So you can, he's crazy. Oh, but man, it's an excellent game. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. PS1 at its fine. I still think this is a PS1 exclusive. It did come out in the arcade, but the EX plus Alpha part is a PS1 exclusive. It's a great game, ladies and gentlemen. Check out, when you get a chance, because it's a long video, my video on the complete history of Street Fighter. It's got all the Street Fighters ever made except 5. Now 5 is on there, except 6, because I ain't bought 6. Don't plan on buying 6. But ladies and gentlemen, I digress. Coming in at number 7 has to be Street Fighter EX plus Alpha. Yoga hoy. Ain't no different between you, right? Rising Dragon. Has he even got the spin kick? I forgot his moves. What do you get it? I remember that. So cool. Played the crap out of this back in the day, man. When we first got it, I mean, I think we rented it. We rented it one time. We used to rent games a lot back then. We rented this game, and me, my two brothers, Torn Adam, and my friend Quentin, stayed up all night playing it. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 6 has to be Street Fighter EX3. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this game came out on the PlayStation 2. I think it's still a PlayStation 2 exclusive. This game was off the chain. It don't get much credit. A lot of people review this one as the odd child of the whole Street Fighter series. But EX3 was the first time I ever seen 3-on-3 implemented. I know KOF was doing it back then. They the best at doing 3-on-3 in my opinion. But this was pretty good too, ladies and gentlemen. You can play with Ryu, Ken, Sakura, and all your Akira characters. And what was so tight about this one, when you went through the single player mode, every time you beat a character, you could either keep them or let them go. That was the whole thing about Street Fighter EX3. And it was pretty tight, a little end boss at the end. Once you beat the game, spoiler alert, you get all kind of random characters just come at you. And you get to, when the credits are rolling, you can keep doing your special moves. And that was pretty tight, man. I like Street Fighter EX3. They took with what worked on Street Fighter EX plus Alpha and just added to it. And they did a great job. I enjoyed EX3. To this day, I was still popping in and playing from time to time. And it looks good to me. It just didn't get much flack by then. When EX3 came out, Capcom was flooding the market with fighting games. What all Capcom had. XMen vs. Street Fighter. All the Versus series was kicking off. And had Rival Schools. All kind of other series was kicking off. And this one kind of got left in the dust. But I have to give it credit, ladies and gentlemen. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 6 has to be Street Fighter EX3. Oops, sorry, wrong button, y'all. Play with my Street Fighter controller. Gotta win the match. Really? I'm about to lose this match. I can't believe I just lost that match. Ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 5 has to be Street Fighter Alpha 2. Ladies and gentlemen. Like I was saying earlier, man, the Alpha games are amazing. What made this game so tight to me? I have very fond memories of this on PlayStation. When this I was kind of upset about this when it came out, ladies and gentlemen. Street Fighter Alpha 2, when it came out on the PlayStation, you could play with, Shin Akuma, and I can't remember the other unlockable character. He might have been on an unlockable character on that. But the PlayStation version, you couldn't play with Evil Ryu. I remember that. But on the Saturn version, you could play with Evil Ryu. That's why that kind of tempted me back then to want to get a Saturn. I'm like, man, how y'all gonna give them Evil Ryu and not give us Evil Ryu? I was upset about that. But Alpha 2, man, fond memories of me and my brother playing it. Man, we used to have countless of nights playing Street Fighter Alpha 2. And the endings on there were great, And I always played with my boy Ken. That's when, in this Alpha 2, that's when you first find out how, Ryu get that red bandana across his head in the regular Street Fighter. You'll find out about it by beating it with Ken. I ain't going to spoil it for you guys. But go beat Alpha 2 and beat it with Ken. You'll see why Ryu has that red bandana on his head. No, that ain't no bandana. That's a red, whatever that is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But, man, you find out a lot of origin stories here. Sakura in here. Who else in here? Sagat, Dan Crazy Self. He's just a joke character, but Capcom made Dan just a joke on SNK. But that's a whole nother story for another time, ladies and gentlemen. Man, Street Fighter Alpha 2. One of the greatest fighting game intros, too. Dun, 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 Street Fighter Alpha 2. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, I digress. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 5 has to be Street Fighter Alpha 2. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we keeping this thing rolling, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 4 has to be Street Fighter Alpha. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, Street Fighter Alpha gets this number 4 spot to me because one of the best intros in fighting games. One of the best. I love that intro. Man, watch the intro, ladies and gentlemen. I have an iCard going on up there of my top 10 favorite fighting game intros. Y'all go check that video out. After you finish watching this video, of course, go check that video out. Y'all see what I'm talking about. That intro was off the chain. And when the Alpha came out, when the sprites, what got me, you know, you went from how Street Fighter looked, then go to Alpha. You know, the sprites, everybody got bigger, everybody got swole. You know what I'm saying? Bison got swole, Sagat got swole. And you know, you would think it was a sequel, but it's actually a prequel. You know, Street Fighter Alpha is a prequel. And you look at Street Fighter Alpha, you go play Street Fighter 2, you're like, man, what happened to Sagat, man? He lost all that weight. What happened in Bison? He lost all that weight. But man, looking at the sprites and everything, and this is a great game. That first time, not the first time, but the first time I remember playing, because I didn't get to play Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I didn't get to play that one till later on in the life cycle. It was the first time for me, I think, I seen super moves. And man, Ken had the Soryuken Pa and Shinryuken. Right, he had the Sinclair Duken and all the super moves that's on this game. You know, that was my first time seeing it. And you had Nash, not Nash, Charlie. You're like, man, what happened to Gal? Man, this is Charlie, Gal's best friend. I'm like, man, they doing their thing with this Alpha series. And I like that, man. Alpha 1 to me always holds a special place in my heart because of the intro. And it was the first time I ever played a game with super moves. Love me some Alpha 1. And man, if y'all want to pick up Alpha 1, I'm telling you, where to go pick it up. Buy Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. Check it out. It's probably on sale real cheap. But I'm going to shut up about that. I ain't going to say it no more. I'm going to try not to. But I get hype. Sometimes I get hype about these games. I'm sorry. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 4 has to be Street Fighter Alpha. I do apologize for that. Oh God, this thing is cool. Right? Please. What that was earlier. Miss Rose. Interesting storyline with Rose, guys and girls. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comment section. Rose is like the good side of Bison. He try to get rid of all the goodness that's in him, like the human side or whatever. And Rose is it. She the good side of Bison. Whoever knew that, you know, Bison had a girl inside of him. You know, that's crazy. Hey, that's the storyline. Hey, man. Little kitty cat. Hey, cuz, me and my homie, we just watching this battle, man. Look at us in the background. We gone now. No, we ain't gone yet. I lied to you. Oh, all right, big ant. See you could. I like the way that move came. All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 3 has to be the original Street Fighter game that came out on Super NES. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, why I had to put this in the 3 spot, because y'all know Street Fighter, hands down, is probably the best fighting game ever made, period. I got to give it credit. Although it's not my favorite ever Street fighting game that I love, but I got to give credit what credit due. Street Fighter, Capcom, they great at making fighting games. They the masters at it. So I never will forget Street Fighter when it came out on Super NES. Daddy Mac my dad, let me call him Daddy Mac. He rented this for us. He had already bought the Super Nintendo for us. I can tell you that story, but I'm not gonna tell it again. I'll tell it on another video. He rented Street Fighter 2 for us, and me and my two brothers, we played that game so much because we didn't know how to do fighting moves back then. Our thumbs literally had blisters on it from pressing the controller so hard and for a long time, man. Our thumbs had blisters for days, man. But we didn't care. All we did was wait till the blisters came off and kept moving. Man, but all night, Hadoukens, learning this, pop, let book it, and Horyukens, her learning all that stuff, man, and just, oh man, great games. Street Fighter, great memories. Even our dad, he used to play. He used to play with E Honda. He'd go through the game and beat the game, and countless of fights. And Chun-Li, what can I say? So hot, want to touch the hiney. Ooh. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Man, that's my first girl crush right there. Video game crush, that is. But I digress. Let's get off that. If you haven't played Street Fighter, man, or even heard of Street Fighter, you must be up under a rock. I'm finna get you out from under that rock. Check out this video and check out number 3. Number 3. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 3 on my top 10 favorite Street Fighter games of all time has to be the OG original Street Fighter, Super NES. She's the strongest woman in the world. There's him, Mr. Blanca, whatever. I say Blanca. I think I said Blanca or Blanca.
Round 1, fight.
Hey. Oh, look at this. Quick. What is it? Getting hit, Blocker. I mean, Charlie. Good job, got that. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we wind this thing down to the top 2. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 2 has to be Super Street Fighter 2. Wow. Now, Super Street Fighter 2, ladies and gentlemen, I first played this game on Super Nintendo. Never will forget, we had just come from church, and our mom had rented Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 for us. And one of my friends at the time, shouts out to him, Brian Holmson, he came over our house, and me, him, and my brothers, we sat up and played Super Street Fighter 2 all night long. And what was tight about it, they had a tournament mode on there where you could do a tournament mode. And actually, one of the first times I seen the two computers duke it out in the fighting game. And that was pretty tight. You in control, they just duked it out. And you know, this is where you had Cammy, so hot, DJ, T-Hawk, and Fei Long was the new fighters. And man, that was off the chain on Super Nintendo. Fei Long had the what, pretty much Capcom's version of Bruce Lee. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Man, awesome game. New songs, new music, new stages, new super moves. Right, Ken had the Soryuken with the fire on it. Ryu had the bigger fireball. Let's see, what else? There was some major changes. I think this might have been where Zangief got some new moves too. But yeah, there's all some new moves on the move set on this game. And Super Street Fighter 2, ladies and gentlemen, will always hold a special place in my heart because my mom rented it and we played it all night long. All night long. It was just a great game, ladies and gentlemen. I love me some Super Street Fighter 2. I played it on Super Nintendo. I know it came out in the arcades and PlayStation and all that stuff, but I first played it on Super Nintendo and it was off the chain to me. So, ladies and gentlemen, coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 2 has to be Super Street Fighter 2. Oh, this is real slow. I think you can speed up the turbo somewhere if you want to, but we're going to play with this. Oh, got me. Good job. Ooh, ooh,
You win.
You win. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we winded this thing down and we down to the number one. Now, without further ado, my number one favorite Street Fighter game of all time is... This is X-Men versus Street Fighter. Yes, X-Men versus Street Fighter. Once again, y'all probably saying, man, this ain't a Street Fighter game. Yes, it is. It says X-Men versus Street Fighter. Wow. Great memories on this one, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first time ever where they did tag team. Tag team, back again. Checking effect. Let me stop, y'all. First time ever where you can team up Ken and Ryu. Akuma was a secret character on here. All you had to do is go up to the top of the screen, press up. Sabretooth. Wolverine. That's Wolverine. That's Sabretooth's theme song, y'all. He had a tight theme song. Birdie, yes, boss. Man, great game. And last boss was Apocalypse. And Apocalypse, boy, he was rough, boy. But man. X-Men vs. Street Fighter to this day is still my favorite. One of my favorite fighting games of all time, man. Has to be number one on the list, man. Once again, y'all, I played this in arcade. To play the crap out of it in arcade. And what was so messed up about it, I got it on the PlayStation. And, PlayStation had the GIMP version where you couldn't, one-on-one instead you couldn't tag out. But me and my brother, we were playing one day and we figured out on our own. Before any internet and all that stuff, we had to figure this out. One day I picked Ken and Ryu, then he picked Ken and Ryu. Next thing you know, we knew we can tag out. And we figured out that little trick to it right when we did that. And, a lot of people figured that out when they played X-Men vs. Street Fighter on PlayStation. And they pretty much implement that whole thing throughout the next game. Like Marvel Superhero vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, all those came out on PlayStation 1. And they implemented that same structure. They had a mode on there where you play, like say you pick Ken and Ryu and you want to go through the game, the computer going to pick Ken and Ryu. Or, you got to pick that one person and the computer going to pick another person and you go through the whole game like that. So they had to do workarounds. I give Capcom credit. They worked with what they got. Sony would not, add the RAM on there because they could have easily did a RAM card like Saturn did. Sony would not add the RAM on there, but Capcom figured out a workaround, and I give them credit. Although it's really the GIMP version, it is. I loved it. Me Smash vs. Street Fighter on PlayStation because me and my brother figured out how to do tag team way before it was implemented on the rest of the games, and it was pretty tight, ladies and gentlemen. I love me Smash vs. Street Fighter. I remember me going off on a little rant here. I remember back in the day I had wrote to Sony like. Ask them why won't y'all add a RAM card like Saturn has to your PlayStation? So these 2D games that are coming out, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, all that stuff, we can play them. We can play them, but not be GIMP. But I never got nothing back from Sony. They never answered me back. They probably took that thing and threw it in the trash. Y'all wrong for that, Sony. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, my number one favorite Street Fighter game of all time is X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Love this game. I wish they do a versus collection. Capcom, you losing out on money. You need to do a versus collection. X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superhero vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Y'all get what I'm saying. Do a whole versus collection, Capcom. Do it, please. Probably won't happen as Capcom on the weekend. But ladies and gentlemen, that about wraps it up for me on my top 10 favorite Street Fighter games of all time. Leave comments below, ladies and gentlemen, your favorite Street Fighter games of all time. I would really like to know. Thank you guys and girls so much for watching. Stay tuned for more great videos on the way. Double Dragon 912 signing out. Peace out. MF6. MF6, boy, I gotta get rid of her because he's mad. Swish. This rim is a joke. Hey, tell you, Kuma crazy. Yeah.
Ready. Fight.
Boy, I used to play some Psychop players back in the day, boy. They used to make you want to throw a joystick. Just in the arcade. Not joystick. Gee, Spice, yeah. Yeah, just straight up. I'm trying to do this. King got the Shinpyu like that. I don't think he got that on him. They didn't get that to him to the next game we're gonna play in the series. Keep on. Eat your live up there. Keep on. Ken? Oh, you pick me, my friend? Well, I'll try to do something different. Right, most time I do pick me and you, but... Wrong one. Oh. Yeah, he pulled his out before I do. Yeah. Marvelous. Yeah, right, you're a problem. I got me. Yep. I had to drag it out, cuz I had to make sure.